Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 19th regular meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Hein?
Here.
President Argyris?
Here. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of January 5th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Lang, second by Trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Abstain.
Abstain. Trustee Hein?
Yes.
And President Argyris?
Yes. Changes to the agenda?
Thank you. Nothing that requires any action on behalf of the board, so just an announcement that we are removing Ted Scanlon Day for this agenda and moving it to that of February 2nd.
Okay. Thank you. Citizens' concerns and comments?
There are none.
Thank you. Staff reports. Community Development Director Janik.
Thank you. I believe I have some good news relative to the Jeffrey Avenue Bridge. This Saturday, we had some pouring of concrete by the contractor. Today, we had some pouring of concrete by the contractor, and we should have 3 more pours by the end of Wednesday, which would mean that all the roadway slabs and the approach slabs to the bridge will be completed. That will leave the railing for the bridge to be installed, and then a few more small pours on the edge of the bridge. Best case scenario, I believe, is possible use of the bridge by the end of next week.
Beautiful.
The weather looks good for this week. As you probably have been looking at, above 30 every day, it appears. Friday might be 38, 39, Saturday, so it looks like we have another 5 days to get this done. And they've been out there, 8 to 10 guys a day. Any of you have been out there, you've seen a lot of people out there, finally.
I was by there yesterday. We were out there. Sunday, actually. I was surprised. There was a couple of guys out there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I got a question, though. Restoring the frontage of some of those homeowners there along the bridge, is there a program set up? Or
Yes.
is there something going to be, are we reaching out to the residents there to tell them what the game plan is?
Their driveways are going to be poured this week as well, hopefully. They're getting not total new driveways, but new driveways up to the sidewalk. Some of them have been cracked beyond the sidewalk. Those will be replaced as well, but not all the way up to the house.
Anything with parkway trees or restoring their sod and stuff like that? That was
It will be done, but obviously not now. It'll be done in the spring.
But it will be done.
Access, yes, will be done.
Thanks. Thanks, Mark.
If I may, I'd just like to acknowledge Mark and his staff. As the board knows, this was not a village project, so the delays that our residents have been experiencing are not due to village staff, but Mark was able to get through to the powers that be and expedite this project even in the middle of winter. And that's why you see crews there on weekends and working, pouring concrete in January. So my appreciation to him and everyone else involved in making sure that this project got done for our residents.
And if I can piggyback, yeah, I like to say thank you as well, and I also apologize to the residents, because at least you'll get some kind of apology from us. Unfortunately, like Manager Spondilla said, it wasn't our project, but you'll never get an apology from the state. But I know it's been not easy for those residents and anybody in that area there, that subdivision, to live the last 6, 7, 8 months. So again, we apologize, and I thank you, Mark, for reaching out. I know we had a little bit of heated discussion on this, that this is ridiculous and stuff, but you and your staff really stepped up and tried to get something going again over there. So thank you on that. Okay. 13A, Madam Clerk.
13A, resolution approving a proposal and letter of proposed terms with William Architects for a space study to incorporate the Wheeling Pavilion Senior Center services into the Wheeling Park District Community Recreation Center.
Thank you. Manager Spondilla.
Thank you. As the title indicates, this is the first step in the joint project with the Park District to relocate and integrate services from the Wheeling Pavilion Senior Center into the building at the Community Rec Center. Specifically, this is a proposal that you are giving me authority to sign a contract with Williams, a contract that Attorney Ferrolo has drafted and is now being reviewed. I expect to sign hopefully later this week. That will allow the study to begin. There are some timelines built into it that include 2 joint meetings, joint meaning this elected board and the Park District elected board. Those will happen tentatively on April 21st and June 15th. The purpose of those meetings is to inform all of you, but also inform the public. There are many steps where the public will be asked to participate through focus groups, through surveys, et cetera, so that we get the opinion of all those users, both from the senior center and from the rec center. Those are 2 different audiences that we want to make sure we capture all of the expectations from both groups as we work towards a final solution that is the integration into one building. I can answer any questions anyone has.
Any questions? I have a comment. I'd like to thank Trustee Brady, along with Manager Sfondilis, myself, Director Weezer, but special thanks to the Park District, Jan Bukes, President Pekka, Commissioner Stein, and Bat Webby. You know, we had a bunch of meetings there, spent about 4 hours over at the Park District with those who were interested in participating in this. But I think this is such a wonderful thing, not just for our seniors, but for the community itself, because it is also talking about an expansion of the Community Rec Center and where we can work cooperatively together and to bring that extra amenity here to this community for the young, the old. And I just want to thank you guys for, you know, listening and working together. And it was a great meeting, you know, it really was. And unanimously, we all agreed on this particular project manager here and architects. So with that, I'll have nothing else, and I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Brady.
Second.
Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you. 13B.
13B, resolution awarding a facade improvement grant for Route 21 Auto Wash and Detail, 400 North Milwaukee Avenue.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. Petitioners are here tonight requesting $50,000 facade grant from the Village of Wheeling for a building renovation that took place on North Milwaukee Avenue. You might all recognize this. This is the ex-America's Car Wash. It is now a new car wash facility. The petitioners have done a substantial amount of work on this building, both in the facade as well as the interior of the building. And they're requesting $50,000 from the village board. The village staff also recommends that the grant be provided to the petitioners.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Lang?
You know, I used your car wash twice this week. The weather was perfect for it, and phenomenal place. I'm so glad we have a place like this in Wheeling. It is, however, your sign is difficult to see from Milwaukee Avenue going northbound. And you guys have probably tried to do something about that in the past with the Plan Commission, but I don't know how else to help you on it, but.
Unfortunately, at a 20-foot high restriction, and we came in just under 20 feet, and that's as high as we were allowed to go. So that's what we made it. We made it under the requirement of 20 feet. I believe it's 18 feet, a few inches.
right.
We could not go any higher. We did realize that before we built it. We asked for it to be higher. It couldn't be, so
Yeah, I understand.
we did what we could with what we had.
Right. Well, you know, and it didn't seem like it was affecting business at all at that point, and, you know, business seemed like it was.
We're doing good.
Pretty good, which is good. We want you to do good as well. And so that was just a thought, but other than that, it's a phenomenal business.
Well, thank you very much. Tell some friends.
Oh, I will.
Anybody else? Well, the day you opened, you gave free car washes. That's the first day. I did a massive text to everybody I had. Free car washes, check them out.
I can tell you, they all came.
Did they? Well, you know what? It was a great promo, and to get people to know your facility
I
there.
thought we were friends. I didn't get that.
I'm not going to go there. But everybody else did, so we wish you the best of luck. If any
Thank
more
you.
questions, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Trustee Lang, second by Trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hyde?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Wish you best of luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Stay active with the community.
Make
okay?
sure your text messaging is on, send some friends.
I will. We will,
Thank you.
for sure. 13C?
Resolution awarding a facade improvement grant for Hakimi Shopping Center, 88-168 Dundee Road.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. Petitioners here tonight are requesting a grant, similar type grant from the village. This one is approximately $45,000. This is the shopping center that's on the north side of Dundee Road, just east of Wolf Road. The petitioner is proposing a substantial amount of facade improvement as well as electrical work to the building, and the staff recommends approval of the $45,000 grant as well.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Again, driving by, I think you did a great job over there. You gave it a new look. You took care of your parking lot, your facade. You got businesses in there. And you know what? That's what this facade program was all about, to motivate you to spend some money, reinvest into your property, and us helping you with the TIF. So, again, good job with that. Do you have any questions?
No, I was actually going to add, just so that the public understood that this is TIF money.
Right.
But you,
It's a program with the TIF that we started years ago to, new signage, new landscaping, new parking lots, new facade, and you took advantage of that, and that's a good thing.
Thank you.
So we wish you the best of luck. If there's any other questions, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang,
Second.
second by trustee Brady. Roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Abstain.
And the reason why?
This came up when I was on the plan commission.
Okay. Thank you.
And Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
very much.
13D.
Resolution for improvement by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. This is a resolution requested by village staff of the board to allow $1 million of MFT funds to be used for roadway improvement in the village during 2015. This is a required resolution for the board to pass so that I can take this to IDOT and then have funds allocated for roadway improvements for 2015.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? I have one, Mark. The Colonial Drive, when was that last done? It doesn't seem like that was long ago.
Colonial Drive, just off of Elmhurst Road?
Yes, sir?
I do not know.
Okay. I guess the question I have is, you're going to go to IDOT to get approval. Are you bound to use the streets that you've marked in here? To be
No, we are-
approved? Or can you add different streets even though?
We can add different streets, however, for these MFT funds, currently we're designing, we're in the process right now of doing soil borings. We've done the survey work for the streets, and we're doing the drawings right now for the improvements to those streets. So it's pretty tough right now for us to change what streets we do, because we're in the process right now of doing the design work.
Okay. I like to really be aggressive and get the Hollywood Ridge area, the Highland Glen area, with all the new water and sewer and stuff like that that's been done in the past 5 years, 6 years in some cases, to get those streets restored. I mean, today Public Works was up and down Valley Stream and all over that subdivision just doing cold patch because of the potholes and the condition of those streets. Colonial Drive, I don't think it was long ago. I remember when that was done. And maybe, you know what, you could check back in your record. But if we can allocate some of those dollars to some of the streets that the folks in these neighborhoods have been really screaming about. Say, you tore up our street, you did some patchwork, I know the curb stuff and all that, but when is it our turn to get our streets redone after they were torn up? And, let's look at the programs and the projects that we've done in the past in some of these subdivisions. I know we're aggressively doing Dunhurst, which is good because that needed to be done. But it wasn't long after Dunhurst was done with the major water main and all that stuff, the Hollywood Ridge area was done. And a lot of cul-de-sacs got beat up in the Beverly neighborhood, Beverly Street and all that other area there. I mean, it's my area, I see it, and we could patch all we want, but the bottom line is it's time to get aggressive in some of these other subdivisions.
What I can tell you is that we work closely with Public Works. We just did a pavement assessment. We just got a new pavement assessment done for the entire village, for the roadways.
Okay.
And we're just trying as hard as we can to
I know,
get
you're
the
doing a
roads
lot,
done.
and I get it, but don't lose sight of that. That's why I'm bringing it up.
No problem.
Okay? Thanks. Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kruger,
Second?
second by trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13E.
Resolution approving a one-year contract renewal with Orange Crush LLC for the 2015 street patching and resurfacing program.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. Last year, we signed a contract with Orange Crush LLC to do a grind and overlay program in the village. This is the first one-year renewal of their contract that was approved last year by the village board. This contract would be for a not-to-exceed amount of $595,000. It would be for patch and grind purposes for village streets for 2015.
Thank you. Questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Vogel, second by?
I second.
Second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. 13F.
Resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute a memorandum of agreement for the provision of school resource officers to Community Consolidated School District 21.
Okay, questions from the board? Trustee Vogel?
Just a couple of questions. This is, he's going to be working for the school district or assigned to the school district as a part-time, 9 months out of the 12, but we're hiring him as a full-time employee, correct?
I'm going to go to Todd or Bill.
No, we're not hiring anybody additional. We have had this program in place for
Right.
pretty much ever. This is just an adjustment to bring it in line with what the other schools in District 21 are paying. Instead of paying 50% of the 75, they'll pay 75% of the 100% of the cost for the officer that's already there.
Oh,
This is not an additional person.
he's already there. It sounded like he was there. Is that 75% of 100% of everything or just his salaries?
Salary.
Okay, so we're picking up his total benefits
Yes, sir.
yet at this point? What do other school districts and other municipalities do?
This is bringing us in line with all the other schools in District 21.
And
They're paying a proportion at the same level.
what about other districts other than 21?
District 214, the high school district, is the exact same.
Like 23, Prospect Heights, and do we know?
If they have a school resource officer, it's consistent at 75% of 100% on the salary,
Okay.
not on the benefits.
All right, so there's really no budget impact to this whatsoever?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I'll make a motion to approve.
You got a question?
Yeah, I was just, Chief Benson, I was wondering if you've heard back from District 21 on it, if there's been any pushback?
They've been provided with the resolution, and I believe it's coming up on one of their agendas.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Motion by trustee Vogel, second by
Second.
trustee Vito. Roll call.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13G.
Resolution approving a second one-year renewal contract with Advanced Tree Care for Parkway Emerald Ash Borer trees and stump removal, including restoration for 2015.
Thank you. Director Stavros.
Thank you. This is a renewal, second year of a 5-year contract for removal of EAB. And it's, to date, we've spent $280,000 in EAB removals. After this year, we will have a total of $559,650 spent in EAB removals.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Brady?
Mr. Stavros, does that include the replacement trees?
No, sir, it does not.
Does not?
Reforestation is an additional, for 2015, it'll be $100,000.
Thank you.
To date, up to date in 2014, we've spent $279,150.
Is that pretty much what we budgeted?
That's what we came back to the board with and asked them for an accelerated
Thank you.
program.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, I'll make the motion.
Trustee Vogel first.
How are we doing? Are we making any progress, or are we falling further behind? Are there more trees that as we go along, are we losing more trees because of the existing
We're
ones
on,
being
we're on
affected?
track to have these done by the end of 15. I'm going to actually turn it over to our forester, Ms. Hazelwood, since these next three concern the EAB removals.
With this accelerated program and the $250,000, we should have almost all of our EAB trees removed. In fact, all of our ash trees, other than, a few white ash that aren't showing any symptoms yet, should be all removed by the end of this year. Parkway ash trees.
Trees. You say Parkway, is there private that we know of that we're having any problems with that we need to push?
There are several private trees that I have been monitoring that do have emerald ash borer. Residents are being notified by letter when I do see them to have them removed.
Good. All right, thank you.
Anybody else? There's a motion by Trustee Brady, second by?
Second.
Trustee Vogel, roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, 13H.
Resolution approving a third one-year renewal contract with Trees R Us Incorporated for Parkway tree trimming for 2015.
Thank you, Director Stavros.
Again, this is a third year of a 5-year contract, which will be for tree trimming of the Parkway trees. And this year, our Parkway tree trimming schedule will be in the Old Town, West Meadowbrook, Glendale 6th and 7th, and the Strong Street area. Recent years was Hollywood Ridge, Dunhurst 1, 2, 3, and 4, and East Meadowbrook.
Thank you. Questions? Trustee Brady?
Mr. Stavros, on taking into consideration that quite a few of the Parkway trees that are probably in this contract are going to be gone, is there any adjustments going to happen on this? Because I know just about all of Lexington, the trees are just about 80% dead. So.
Trustee Brady, the tree contractor, Trees R Us, actually, they trim mostly the large trees. Does this affect the trimming? Not really, because they trim about 1,000 trees a year on the Parkway tree trimming program. We have about 8,600 Parkway trees, so this is just keeping a rotation going.
Okay, so if we lose...
Even though we lose the 1,000 trees, it still keeps our tree rotation going.
You finish up and start back again?
Yes, correct.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Anybody else? Entertain a motion? So move. Motion by Trustee Hein,
Second.
second by Trustee Krueger, roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, 13I.
Ordinance amending various sections of Title 12, Trees and Vegetation, Chapter 12.08, Tree Care and Maintenance of the Wheeling Municipal Code regarding tree care and maintenance.
Thank you. Superintendent Hazelwood.
Good evening. Before you tonight is a revisions to Title 12, Chapter 1208, Tree Care and Maintenance of the Wheeling Municipal Code. The amendments were reviewed by the attorney, and changes include adding some definitions. There were 3 definitions added: street tree, forestry superintendent, and nuisance tree. It also provided for the forestry superintendent to work alongside the village planner to prepare the official comprehensive tree plan. The director of public works will still administer this plan. Also will be extending the planting season. This will better coincide with the Suburban Tree Consortium. The planting season before on the old one was March 1st through May 1st. March 1st was a little bit too soon to be planting trees, and we were finding that the contractor was planting more April 1st through June 30th. So that will be changed. Also, there were revisions to the tree species list. These were necessary to include some nuisance trees that should no longer be planted, such as ash trees and American elms. These trees are more susceptible to disease, insects frequently fail or are invasive. Revisions also include some spacing requirements that were listed for the small, medium, and large trees. It's a guideline to help people determine where to plant things with landscaping plans. And the tree species list was also expanded to include a vast selection of quality trees to promote diversification. The species list also will list limited-use trees that have been overplanted. They're more prone to pest and disease, and while these trees may still be used in landscape plans, they should be limited. Tree topping was another change that we proposed, and that is to reflect the new requirements that are part of the Tree City USA designation. Tree topping severely injures trees and it violates nationally accepted standards for tree pruning. This new language will not allow that and will state that trees shall be removed if they are severely topped or deformed because of storms. Also, finally, trees preservation and enhancement. In that section, we just added a little section that says that trees help to absorb excess soil moisture, thereby moderating stormwater runoff.
Good. Questions? Trustee Brady?
Larry, I hope you were the architect of all these changes.
Yes.
Okay, because you mentioned under review of our attorney, and I don't think our attorney is much of a horticulturist as you would be. So.
No, but I like trees. I like trees.
I made sure you told me.
Good, and I trust what you say.
Thank you.
Trustee Lang?
Tree topping, does that also include what ComEd does to these trees sometimes?
Well, ComEd, they have been promoting a new standard where they're trying not to top. Top is where you more see on down south a lot of times where they literally take the tree and shear it off completely. Now, ComEd does try to cut back from the wires. They do have, I know, that right to cut back, around the trees. That necessarily is not topping. Now, if they take it and just cut it flat off, that would be considered topping. But we've been working with ComEd very closely to try to get them to not do some of the practices.
Well, in some cases, could we promote removing those trees and planting a species that's kind of that doesn't grow quite as high or something?
Yeah, ComEd is certainly also promoting that right tree in the right place, and they have a list of recommended trees under wires, and some of these trees that we have on our small species list also are what ComEd recommends.
Okay, and then the two undesirable, are there any others on the horizon that are disease prone or that could happen here?
Well, very possibly, and that's the big key for diversification, because if you don't diversify, we get like what happened with the ash trees and the elm trees, American elms. But certainly there are species that do become nuisances throughout the year, so this list will be revisited.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Trustee Krueger?
Yes, I have a question, Lori, please. Maybe it lends itself to the other agenda topic, but when you notify a resident that they have a diseased ash tree that needs to be removed, do we help them know a reputable tree removal service, or are they left on their own to find that themselves?
There are many times that residents do ask me for some names of some contractors. I usually, a lot of times, give them some of the names of the contractors that have worked specifically for us in the village. I do tell them that they should get 3 estimates, that they certainly should, also look for contractors on their own. I'm always there to assist the resident if they have any questions regarding, an estimate they received or something on it. But as far as that, I do tell residents to make sure that contractors are insured and that they hire a certified arborist. So I am always here for any resident who has any questions.
Excellent, thank you.
Trustee Vito?
Yeah, this also kind of lends itself to one of the other agenda items, but the trees that we're replacing the ash trees with, are they diverse? Because at least in my neighborhood, it looks like they were all maples, and I'm just wondering, if we're not promoting diversity in those trees.
No, certainly we are. I think you were planted in your subdivision, I believe, in the fall. We did have several varieties of maples, not all of the same type of maple. I know maples come in all different kinds. There could be a red maple, there could be a State Street Miyabi maple. So there were a lot of maples planted, but there were a lot of other species also planted.
Okay.
But we try to get about 17 different varieties every time we do a planting.
And the resident has a choice, right, to pick from that?
What I do is if a resident does contact me, I will give them a choice from the trees that we already have on order. Unless they contact me, I usually pick an appropriate tree for the planting site. They can contact me and I will work with them.
Good. I know you have. Anybody else? Entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang.
Second.
Second by trustee Brady. Roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. Official communication, Manager Svandelis.
Thank you. Because I believe it's going to segue into some comments from Trustee Krueger, I'd like to ask Chief McIsaac to talk about this year's St. Baldrick's event.
Thank you very much, Manager Svandelis. It's kind of ironic we're here talking about spring projects with trees and street repairs. And every spring, the Wheeling Firefighters Association and the fire department staff gets together. And for the last 6 years, we've been raising money for the St. Baldrick's Children's Cancer Foundation. We are about to embark on that quest again for the 7th year. To give you a little perspective, last year's one-day event, which is a combined event between our department and the Lincolnshire Riverwoods Fire Protection District, that combined event one day raised over $50,000 for that foundation. And in the last 6 years, that combined event between the two departments has generated over $250,000. So we are once again embarking, and yours truly will be one of the bald heads with spring coming. And it is the date we'd like you to put on your calendar is Saturday, March 7th. Saturday, March 7th. For those who have attended in the past, it is once again being held at the Home Bar in Prospect Heights. It's in the shopping center right across from Hersey High School. It's an open event. Last year we filled the place. It's a family environment. A lot of children, a lot of families came out. There's raffles, there's prizes, and I think it's an overall good time for everybody. Anybody who'd like to donate, and donations are strictly voluntary, they can go to the St. Baldrick's website, which is basically www.stbaldricks.org. There's a box where you can put in the team or venue and put in Wheeling Firefighters, and it will take you to the homepage where you can make a safe and secure online donation. But again, I want to thank everybody who's supported us in the past. It's a good cause, and I hope to see a lot of people come out for that event and enjoy a good day with the firefighters.
Thank you. Trustee Krueger?
Yes, I'm going to share that I am a member of the Wheeling Firefighters Local 3079 team for St. Baldrick's as a volunteer. I will tell you now that I am not going to shave my head this year. It took a lot longer to grow back than I thought, and I have spent quite a bit of time trying to embrace the new colors. So, but I do believe in the program and what the fire team, what both firehouses have done, and I was so impressed last year that I will support and volunteer in any way that I can. I've got a couple of friends and family that have decided to be shavers because they're licensed beauticians, so we've got lots of people on the team. So I do strongly urge everyone to make a contribution. No amount is too small for children's cancer research.
Good, thank you. Trustee Vito?
I have nothing.
Trustee Lang?
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Trustee Hein?
Nothing this evening.
Trustee Brady? Trustee Brady?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear Nate.
Trustee Vogel.
Nothing, thank you.
Clean slate. Clerk Simpson.
Nothing this evening.
Manager Svandelis.
Nothing else to add, thank
Well,
you.
then I got to talk. I want to share a couple things with the public. You know, I think what we do at this time of the year, what I've tried to do the last couple of years was to see how the numbers look. And numbers to me is permits and the Community Development Department. And if you look at your staff report, and I wait for this in January because I want to see if there's an increase. And I think the philosophy's been in the last 19, 20 months, not with just myself and staff, but this whole board behind the way we do our business. You know, how can we become more professional? How can we encourage and spearhead economic development? How can we support economic development to bring, as you heard tonight, with the car wash or with the shopping center, to get motivated to do things in this community? I'm happy to report a few things that is probably in excess of 50% higher than the previous year. That measures your success, in my opinion. Everything we're doing here as a group, everything we're doing here as a staff, everything, our strategic planning, it works hand in hand and coincides with the numbers, in my opinion. And just to, not to rattle all of them, but residential permits for 2014 was 626, with a valuation of $4.6 million. Residential permits. Industrial permits, 103, in excess of $8 million in evaluation. That's cost based on the permitting fees. Commercial, 47 permits, $2.4 million. Overall, the community development, and hats off to Noreen, because she's the coordinator of all the permitting, coordination, and everything else. They issued 1,599 permits in 2014 for an assessed valuation of over $40 million that was spent in this community. That's how you base success on what we're trying to do here. And you know what? Those numbers are so important. That means everybody is playing such a crucial part, whether it be economic development, whether it be the finance department. Management's always playing the part because they got to orchestrate it all. But community development, public works, everybody plays a key component of what we're trying to do here. And that's how we measure our success as a board. I came in here, we've had many talks with John, sat down with all the staff when I got elected village president. And vision was, how do we become better? How do we become better? What can we do? What can we do? How can we market? How can the board buy into doing this and giving direction to get things done? Here's the numbers. Our strategic planning session on the residential life of this community. And tonight we touched base on a lot of it. And if you guys look at it, build sense of community and neighborhood pride. Provide a reason to reinvest. Well, we're seeing that with the permitting numbers. People are spending more money on driveways, infrastructure of their homes, and everything else. Increase investment in public amenities, destination points for pedestrians, and access to the forest preserve. Have you all read in the last month, 6 weeks, on how we've lobbied Cook County to spend money finally on the north side of Cook County and clean up the forest preserve to create amenities for our residents and for the surrounding area? Bike paths, working with CMAP, Manager Svandelis, myself, Transportation Committee, along with Trustee Hine, working with the different agencies to bring those things here to this community so everybody benefits. It's part of our strategic plan. We're doing it. Utilize the transportation plan to connect neighborhood walks with sidewalks and bike paths. Community Development, our planning department, Mr. Jennings, worked with CMAP, again, with the IDOT to connect the bike paths going from the east, going to 53, and finally having that 2-mile corridor there to connect it along Dundee Road. So people from the east and the west can go through this town and our people can do that. We're doing stuff like this. This is important. Address growing needs of aging population by partnering with the Park District for service and amenities. You saw a testament of that tonight. Reaching out, working with the other taxing bodies and getting things done. Again, important things that we as a group, not just the village board, but sat down with staff, with people that were in the audience, and paired up in groups and say, what can we do to make ourselves better? And we're doing. Consistent code enforcement, constantly doing that. Promote neighborhood aesthetics through street improvements and code compliance. Again, with the trees, the aesthetics of what we're trying to do with uniform fencing, maintenance is a huge thing in our community. Street lighting, all that stuff that we're trying to do. Encourage the efforts of the schools. How can we help improve and promote what they're doing? Because you know what? It's not just the Village of Wheeling here. It's not just core services here. It's all the taxing bodies that are part of this community. The Park District's doing wonderful things. What an exciting year for them this year with Heritage Park opening up. The library is consistently doing things with their newsletters that you read and we all get in their mail, and how they're improving and bringing programs so everybody can enjoy, young and old. These are things that we need to be doing. The 214 with the high school. I mean, every day, every week, we're reading positive things about 214. Good things, part of our community, we need to partner with. Encourage homeowners to make property improvements. Again, another testament to the permitting fees. And the list goes on and on and on on what they're trying to do there. So what I'm getting at, we measure our success not by a 911 call to the police or fire department or a complaint to community development for code enforcement, by the new dollars that are coming here, the new people that are coming here to invest in this community, and those, more important, that are staying here and reinvesting into their homes. This is important. Shopping center owners, look at Lexington and Lake Cook Road. There's a guy that got that corner cleaned up, but he went beyond just the Starbucks and Saladas, and he did the entire center. Spent money and didn't ask for a dime of village money, and we recognized that individual a couple weeks ago. The guy down by Wolf and Dundee, the same thing. Nobody twisted his arm to do it. He wanted to do it. So I applaud staff. I applaud this board, because you know what? Consistently we're moving forward, and the numbers don't lie. And just the bottom line is, permitting fees that were generated in 2014, which is up over 50% from 2013, was $897,000 plus. That's a lot of money. That's your business. And that's why it's so important to have that customer service, working with everybody out there. And you know what, Mark? And you've been shorthanded in that department, and I don't know how you do it, but you know what? I applaud you guys for all the effort that you're trying to do, plus all the capital improvements and working with PW and everything else and getting things done. So I wanted to share that with the public, because I think that's so important and it gets overlooked every year. And I'm excited to see what 2015 brings. Okay, I have nothing else, and we have no executive session, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Kruger.
Second.
Second by Trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. Good night, everyone.